I am astounded by the power of the internet. We all knew that it was powerful, but once you actually start getting into it, it just reaches this incredible level of mind-blowing opportunity that you have. Every month this year, which led me to being able to release an entire album's worth of music. Just a couple of weeks ago, on December 14th, my album for this year dropped, and it's called In Vacant Dates and Intentions.
So tell me a little bit more about the album, because somehow I completely missed that.
Yeah, no worries. It's just basically a whole bunch of songs that I either wrote this year or had written in the past, and I wanted to keep myself releasing music throughout the year. And a lot of times in the past, I've found myself recording an entire album's worth of content, or an entire album's worth of songs, and it's just a huge time investment of just doing recording, focusing on all of the songs and the way they sound. This year, I wanted to focus on one song at a time so that I could release them and still stay in front of people, sort of make myself a little bit more apparent while I'm releasing music, right? Because I'm not in a hole someplace for a month or 2 months while I get my songs together, because each one of these songs took about a week to actually get done, a few days, like 3 or 4 days to actually record the song, and then a couple of days to get the mastering and mixing the way that I liked it, and also the album art. So it was a process. So if you think about that for 10 or 11 songs, that's 10 or 11 weeks of just recording music and mixing and mastering. Like, that's a huge amount of time where I'm not doing anything else. So I wanted to mix in some other things. So In Vacant Dates and Intentions are my favorites from this year. There's 10 songs, and its title comes from the first song on the album, which is called Voices in the Overtones. In Vacant Dates and Intentions, I just thought was a really good title for the album, because the whole thing was, released throughout the year, and sort of in vacant dates. Like, I don't know when this album will come out. I don't know how it will turn out throughout the year, but it's just sort of a summary of all of my work in 2018. So I'm really happy with it. I'm really proud of it, and it's everywhere. It's on Spotify and iTunes and Apple Music, Google Play, you name it, it should be there.
Okay, and I'm definitely going to highly recommend that everybody go check that out, because your music is so much fun. Whenever you're even just like playing around or just doing like a little quick little ditty, as you would say, I'm always sending that message out to anybody who I know who appreciates music, or who I know who might need a little cheer me up. And like, just for context sake, last year we were talking about a song that you did about bobtailing, which is a term that truckers use when they have to go pick up a load, and then there's nothing for them to pick up because it either gets cross-scheduled or rescheduled or something happens.
Well, it's actually, they're made to go a distance to pick up a load, but they're not paid for the time. The load is there or not, but it's just that they're not paid for the time, the investment in the time that it takes them to go get the trailer.
I appreciate the correction. But yeah, so like, you made a little jingle out of it, and it was just so much fun. So
yeah, that one's on the album too. It's the last song
on
In Vacant Intentions. Yeah, it's
perfect.
it was the first song that I released this year in January. I really like how it came down. It's probably the most produced song too. I worked a lot in sort of different sounds that I can use, and it really set the stage for the rest of the year. And the sounds that I started to experiment with, like using a fiddle bow on a banjo, and the sounds that I could get from the harmonica. Like I did a lot of experimentation with the harmonica on this album throughout the year. So there's a lot of new sounds from me on this album. It's pretty cool to listen to, and like you said, it does have a lot of pick me up moments from my other stuff. The other albums have some murder ballads or just stories that are emotionless. This album starts out with a few fun songs, very, I guess you could say, motivational or inspirational. Voices in the Overtones is the first song off the album, and that's just about focusing on your passions and pretty much ignoring the people who tell you that you shouldn't. And then the next song is Precision Meets Passion, which is about my father's metal fabrication company. Well, it's not about it. It's just inspired by that. And I put in my own experiences, making my own business-like structure for my music. And basically, putting business into your passion. That's what that song is about. And Precision just works into fabrication because of the equipment that he has with a CNC plasma cutter. And then the third one is Occasionally I Stand a Little Different, and that is when it really gets fun. That's a really fun one. It's just harmonica and me singing. So yeah, it's a pretty fun
the
album.
whole album's everywhere. Where is the album?
It's everywhere. It's on Spotify, Apple Music. You'll be able to find it if you search Jeremiah Craig or In Vacant Dates and Intentions.
As soon as I get some sleep after this event, I'll be downloading it.
I'm sure you'll be resting for maybe a day or so.
I probably should, but knowing myself, I won't give myself that much time. So, what inspired all the cowboy boot stuff you were doing this year?
Oh, I've loved cowboy boots forever. Well, not forever, since I was 18. So as soon as I was pretty much out and in college and doing my own thing, I just connected with cowboy boots incredibly. When my brother was 16, he got a pair of cowboy boots, and I just saw that style, and I was like, man, I want to get into this too. So then I got a pair, and as the years went on, I got more and more and more pairs, and I ended up with about, I don't know, 5 pairs of cowboy boots by the time I was 22 or 23. So I've always worn cowboy boots, and everybody who's known me for a while knows that I wear them pretty much every day. And it wasn't until this year that I started thinking about how I could share that passion more. And I did some keyword research because I'm a marketer. I do a lot of marketing to pay the bills. And keyword research is a great way to figure out what kind of content I can create around my music and to just attract attention to myself and even just become a part of different communities. So I did some research about who was searching for cowboy boots online through Google Keyword Planner. And I noticed that a lot of people were searching for cowboy boot related content, but not a lot of people were actually finding things that they were searching for. So there was a very high search volume per month and a very low competition, which meant very low people were buying ads and creating content for cowboy boots. So I decided to throw my hat in the ring and do a little bit of an experimentation and make a video about cowboy boots and just the reasons why they're so cool. So I threw a video up on YouTube in March, and it did really well. I was very surprised with the feedback that I had. I didn't realize that there was such a large community of cowboy boot lovers on YouTube. So then I made some more to see what would happen. And it just grew from there. And I've become friends with a lot of people online who really like cowboy boots. So I've really started sharing that. And before, I didn't really ever think that anybody would care because cowboy boots are one of those strange things that not very many people, or at least I thought, were into. So uh, now my Instagram has cowboy boots on it. Now my Facebook, I have a Facebook group about cowboy boots. I put up YouTube videos almost every week about cowboy boots. And the community around cowboy boots is huge, and I never knew it. So it's really cool, and it's exciting to be a part of something like that, to be a part of a community of people who just are passionate about the different kinds of cowboy boots that you can have, because really the possibilities of leathers and styles are endless. So there's so much different topics to talk about. I don't think I'll ever run out.
And see, I find that so fascinating because when I'm talking to people that I know who have something that they're passionate about or that they enjoy or that they find just fun, and I'm like, oh, well, there's probably somebody else that wants to engage with you. They're like, oh, well, there's probably only like two other people. But like those two other people are probably in the same boat where they're searching on Google for communities and content and things to interact with, and it doesn't exist. And I'm like, well, that's the perfect opportunity to create that on your own
Yes.
and find those small niche communities. Like there doesn't have to be a million people interested in an idea in order for it to be fun. Like it can just be five people having conversations about something that everybody enjoys. And
Exactly.
I think those micro niches are so undervalued and understood. Right now at least. But it seems like with everything going on the internet, intelligent people like you who have creative minds, creating those subcultures for people and those opportunities for people to interact, it's really a lot more fun than it used to be.
Yeah, it is. And just watching the trends here, I wouldn't be surprised if cowboy boots come into the mainstream here in 2019 or 2020. So if I were you, Mike, I would start looking for some cowboy boots near you because they're going to be really cool. I mean, I think they're already really cool, but I'm talking about George Clooney wearing them to the Oscars cool.
Oh no. And my brother's in the cowboy boots. I never could quite get there. But I've been through him and your content you've been putting out, kind of, I might end up with a pair on my feet by the end of 2019.
That's what I'm talking about.
So if we're in the cowboy boot world, is there like a high end, a low end, certain brands that are moderate ends that you should stay away from, things you should look for quality versus in cowboy boots? Because I'm completely ignorant to the topic.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like everything else. There's going to be the boots that are, better for having as beaters. There's going to be those boots that are better for having as work boots. I mean, they make steel toe cowboy boots. There's going to be different kinds of boots custom to different makers. I mean, it really completely spans. There's a wide range of styles and uses that you can use. My favorite cowboy boot brand is Boulet Boots. That's a French Canadian company, and it's spelled Boulet. And I just really like them as far as comfort is concerned and just quality, and also for the price. So it's the best all-around boot as far as I'm concerned because they are very high quality. I've had a pair of Boulet boots for about 11 years, 10 or 11 years now.
Oh wow,
Not more.
that's a long
And
time.
and they've been through hell. They've been all across the country with me on music tour, on my tours for music, on different trips that I've taken. I've spilled gasoline on them. I've walked in the mud. I've done all of these things, and they look like crap, but they're still going, and they're the most comfortable boots that I've ever had. So to see a boot withstand that just pure horrible treatment from me, and I'm horrible on things like things that I own don't last very long because I expect a quality that is just a ridiculous expectation, and that expectation uh, is understood by these cowboy boots made by Boulay, and I'm just supremely impressed by what they have. I just got a new pair of Boulay boots of pieced ostrich skin. So uh, ostrich leather I've wanted for so long just because it's so soft and so durable, but yet it's really, really strong too. So it's a
Mm.
very light material, but it's just beautiful, and it's a Boulay boot as well. And I've just been wearing them everywhere I go for the past couple of days.